Hey there, it's Trixie. Today I'm going to share another special edition Pacific Crest Trail video. I had the privilege of helping restock one of the water caches, and it was really cool because I had always wondered how these things get done. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share a chart that shows you how many gallons were used, how much it costs, and other interesting information about the Third Gate water cache. With that, let's get started by watching some footage I shot while I was helping restock the cache, starting with instructions on what to expect.
We'll go up over a rise and you'll get a beautiful view of all the Julian Mountains up in that area. And then we'll keep anyway, we got 5 miles of dirt road that we will be driving. And we'll finally get down onto a single lane track to go into the ranch. And we'll keep driving on a narrower single lane track. We've gone out with loppers and tried to get rid of all of the cat claw along the side of the road. You're not having a car that looks like mine when you're done. Silver is a nice color to have because you can't see the scratches and so on.
Desert pinstripes.
Yeah. And then we will go up to the cache. 5 vehicles are going to be a challenge up there, but I think let's try it. And what we want to do is we want to get up there and turn our vehicles so they're facing east, because the cache will be to the west of us and we won't have to carry things so far. Beware of the cholla that's right there in the middle of the area. And before we start unloading any water, we want to be sure we know how many cases are already in place. And we can probably figure that out pretty quickly because we got the number of cases we left last time and we had them pretty well wrapped with utility cloths, and if they're still intact we know how many there are. We just have to make a record of that. And then we will start unloading, and I think we're going to have to load 3 layers high today on everything. And when you're putting water on the cases, remember we have to be able to count the number of cases that are there even after it's a partial. So try to not go this way and that way and this way and that way. Try to keep them so that you can say, okay, there's 6 on the bottom and there's 3 layers high, so we can figure out how that works. And we can just either make a chain, or people can be coming and unloading more than 1 vehicle at a time and put them on the pallets. And Jim will get to play his game of taking all the empties out of the chicken coop, and you'll get to see that if you haven't been here before. So let me send my message off to Corey, and you can get in your cars and then just follow us down. Okay?
So we just got on the dirt road, headed out to the cache. We have a caravan of 5 cars. In the truck that we have here, there are 19 cases of water, which is equal to how many gallons? How many gallons in a case?
Well, there's 6 packs of I think 2 gallons per pack. So I think we got 12 gallons per pack. So 19 times 12.
Yeah, whatever 19 times 12 is. So approximately 240 gallons, right?
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
Something around there. So, and then we have one of the smaller loads of water. So it'll be interesting to see how much water we end up leaving, how much water is out there. Like I said, this is my first time out, so I'm really excited. So we're here at the cache. We have a lot of activity.
Are you all through hikers?
So these are the empties, and we're going to recycle those, and then that money goes back into the water for the hikers. So there's Jim. He's in charge of the recycling. And then over here in the shade, we have the water, so it doesn't get ridiculously hot for people to drink. And so we're going to count how many bottles are here. And then we're going to start loading, if you can see in the back of people's vehicals, how much water is here. We're going to leave for all the wonderful hikers. Look at that. It's a lot of water. we finished loading the water, and now we're gonna go pick up trash in the surrounding area around the water cache. And then my friend here is doing a little trail maintenance. He's digging a little route for the water to go. We've had a lot of rain this season, so that way it doesn't wash out the trail, so the water has somewhere to go if we get some more. So I'm currently on the PCT. This is looking southbound. The view is outstanding. We finished loading the water and we've gone up the trail a little bit to clean up some of the trash. I'm happy to report that there wasn't a whole lot. It is still very early in the season, so hopefully it will remain that way. And as we continue to maintain the water cache, we'll do exactly the same thing. Come up, shift the water so that the older water gets used first, and then put the new water out, and then go up the trail to clean. So this is the third gate water cache, and the reason why it's called the third gate water cache is because it's the third gate. The gate count starts at Scissors Crossing, and so this one actually has the number 3 on it. And there's plenty of great spots to camp around here. And of course, you know, it's nice to be able to camp somewhere where there's some water. So you come down the trail a little bit and you can see the little sign that says no fires in the center of the screen. And here is the signage that you will see if you are going northbound to the water cache. So there's the sign, and that'll take you straight to it. And then if you're just planning on trucking through, you can sign in at the trail register. So the trail register is in that little box, and then there's a couple other signs right there for water. If you're coming southbound, so this is north still, there's the PCT signage. The southbounders have a little bit of a harder time to see. I'll insert the mile marker here when I get a chance. And there's a little sign right here for the southbounders for you to see right there. So and we might have a possibility to get some better signage there. So to take the side trail down to the water cache, you just come down here. There is a suggested donation for the water cache. I mean, it's literally hundreds of gallons of water, and it literally takes thousands of dollars to maintain it every year. So there is a little donation box, so if you can contribute, please do. And I think this year there's some chatter, we're gonna try and set up a Venmo account for those folks who are a little bit more tech savvy. If you would like to donate to the Third Gate Water Cache, the venue address will be repeated at the end of the video, or you can hit me up via the email link to this channel, and I'll put you in contact with the appropriate person. Just a little disclaimer, this video in no way is meant to promote people creating new caches. It is my intention to share how a well-established cache operates for those who are curious. The information that I'm presenting was taken from emails that were shared with this season's volunteers. So let's get started. So the peak season for San Diego is between March and May. And how I figured the volunteer hours is I was multiplying 6 hours per person per visit. For me, it took me 2.5 hours each way to get to the cache. Some people it took longer, some people it took shorter. So on average, it was about 4 hours travel time for each person and a couple hours there to count, restock, and clean up at the cache. Some people went more than once. I personally went out twice this season, and the cache lead actually went out every single time someone else did. So the 11 visits during the peak season ranged from February to mid-June. As you can see from this chart, usage spikes in April. I think it's also important to note that the last update on this chart was June 17th. Again, I'm gleaning this information from emails that I received. So the summer and fall numbers are incomplete. If you'd like to look at these numbers a little closer, please feel free to pause the video. So here's a much more accurate count. I just received the final email with these numbers on November 2nd, so just a couple of days ago. When I had my first visit out to the cache on St. Patrick's Day this year, I posted some still shots online, and it sparked a really interesting conversation about sustainability. A lot of people were upset about the plastic usage. Other people had helpful suggestions about how to make this possibly a more sustainable endeavor. Some people talked about maybe creating a water tank. Other people have suggested, what I thought was kind of interesting was possibly partnering with the BLM and looking for a natural water source in the area that we could tap into. I'm kind of curious if that idea has already been explored, so if anybody has any connections with the BLM or suggestions on how to make this a more sustainable process, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Another aspect of sustainability is the cost. There is a donation box out there. It was first introduced in 2017. So considering that the cache has been supported and maintained since 1999, it makes you kind of wonder. So I did a little asking, and it was the volunteers that paid for all the water. And as I already mentioned, a Venmo account was created just this year. So these numbers are conservative estimates as far as the water that was supplied. I base that upon Costco prices of $5.59 for a 6-pack of the Kirkland waters that we were taking out there. Sometimes they didn't have that water in stock, so occasionally Arrowhead water was used, which is a little bit more expensive. So that number, the $25.60, reflects the Kirkland water price based on the latest number I got on November 2nd for how much water was supplied. As far as the income from recycling the used plastic bottles and the donations that we received via the donation box on site as well as the Venmo account, this number is inaccurate. I could only get as far as what was given to me via email in May when I asked pointedly for whether or not we covered what was spent. I was told, yeah, I was pretty close. So at the time of the email in May, where the numbers 1431 and 332 come from, we were about almost $400 shy of what was spent on the project. The couple that have been taking the lead on maintaining the water cache, they've been doing it for the last 10 years. So I think the donation thing is pretty new for them, and they were just used to just paying it all on their own. I think there's a mentality here too, in San Diego at least, between the Trail Angels, that people really want to start folks off on the trail with a kind heart and to just show how much the human spirit can persevere and how much kindness there is in the world. So for example, if you've ever stayed at Scott and Frodo's house, and I've done a little volunteering there as well, they actually require that if you drive people out to the terminus, you are not to take any money from hikers, and if you need help with gas, they will actually give you the money. And I think that's absolutely wonderful, and I am not here to pass judgment about anything. If you have the financial means to do that, I think that's great. But I don't know if when the cash originated that people realized that it would become, thousands of dollars. Another aspect for me, one of the things I love about backpacking is the self-reliance piece. And I think that when you allow people to contribute to themselves, to others, to a cause, there's a certain dignity in that, and I think that it's great if you can give people the opportunity and the choice of whether or not they're able to donate. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found the video interesting and informative. Even more so, I hope it sparks a discussion about sustainability in your household and inspires you to volunteer and give back to the trail that we all love. And if not the PCT, then your favorite local trail. And to all the former and future hikers out there, 3, Trail Eagles love you!